And the only other thing I would add is never, ever disappear. When you make a connection with someone, somehow, every 3 or 4 months, you send them an email, giving them an update, even if you're a sophomore or junior, on how you're doing. Not necessarily expecting a reply, although you'll probably get one, or you drop them a line or a note on a card, or you give them a phone call, so that you're always out there. It's very strategic when you're networking, and a lot of times people disappear for years. This happens all the time, and I get a call, hey, you remember me? Can you help me? And it's like, oh, yeah, I guess, but it doesn't feel right. It feels like you're just calling me for help. It doesn't feel like I'm in your network. So I want you to make sure you think about that.
There's a great phrase that says, build your network before you need your network. And it's a critical phrase. I'll use one example on this one briefly. We had a college student that came into the ILBSC conference. I don't remember what year now. It's been so long, probably 5 years ago. Her name was Ebony. And there was a big, Ebony had an amazing ability to connect. And she's an HR executive, I believe, with Walmart Corporation today,
That's
correct? Any
yes.
Walmart? Yes. So Ebony had an amazing ability to connect. Come Christmas time, we get this connection from Ebony. She'd call, she'd send an email. So one day we're at a conference, and we all thought, all the senior executives, all the people in the room felt that they had this individual connection. Oh, I know Ebony. Come to find out, we were all connected to her because we were literally in a meeting going, you know her too? She writes you? I'm like, we almost hurt. Like, I thought it was just me. I thought she just liked me. but an amazing ability to connect, and those connections won her career. Interesting enough, she wasn't interested in this profession, but we helped her end up in the profession she wanted to end up with. Ask any executive that works for ILBSC in the last 5 years, do they know Ebony? They'll tell you yes.
I just actually got an email from Ebony last week.
She emailed you, she didn't email me.
No. Same girl?
See my point?
So very smart on her part, because she was basically saying, I can't make the conference this year, would love to make it next year, but I just want you guys to know I'll be thinking about you. And I thought, that's brilliant, because she never disappeared. So we probably won't see Ebony until maybe next year's conference, but she's top of mind. And if she called and needed support, I'm overreacting. That's not a call where I'm going, oh, I haven't heard from you in 5 years. Now you're calling me? So think about that. The next one is really key. Follow up or fail. Do you realize that 95% of the people, and I hope it doesn't include this room, will receive a business card from someone or what have you and won't even follow up, won't send an email, won't reestablish the contact. They were just happy to get the business card. I don't know why. But 95%, you separate yourself from 95% of everyone else once you follow up. And that's just not just in networking. It's really true for everything. You heard Mr. Logan say it very well today, that he follows through. His word is his bond. And a lot of times you can tell what the connection is going to be like based on what the follow-up is like. Very often, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll give you an example. Where is Mike Nelson? Yeah. So no sooner were Sam Solomon, who presented earlier today, walking off the stage and getting ready to go out of here. And Mike, what were you doing?
I was sending them a thank you note on LinkedIn to connect with him and add him to my personal network.
And he's a senior executive that's doing very well in the industry. But he did that to stay connected. He's doing that as a regional director at Kohl's. We should all be doing that, right? Simple thing, but he'll probably be the first email Sam gets in his box today. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Go ahead.
Brief reminders, I'm not going to go into this a lot of detail, but always be appreciative. Always be appreciative to your peer group. Always be sensitive to time when you engage in this. One of the mistakes you can make is not read your audience. Sometimes, we live in a world where we're dealing with crises. Mr. Logan shared some of the crises he dealt with at 9/11. So be very appreciative of the time that people have. So engage them, but if you see that they're preoccupied for whatever reason, thank them for your time. And then to Keith's point the other day, you can always re-engage. There's always an opportunity to re-engage them. And it just kind of goes through timeliness is key, following up, use email, not snail mail, utilizing some key things. That's the difference between sending a mail in the mail or sending an email, in case you guys were wondering. But it just kind of walks you through some key initiatives. We're moving quickly, so I'm not going to go too much detail with this.
Okay. I really want you to pay attention to this one. It's called Mastering the Deep Bump. And I love what Keith Perazzi has done with this. A deep bump is an effort to quickly make contact, establish enough of a connection to secure the next meeting, and move on. Now, remember the reception we had yesterday, kind of crowded, a lot of people flying around, this, that, and the other. Really not the time to have a half-hour conversation with someone you really want to get to know. However, in 2 minutes, if you could just establish a contact, good eye contact, by the way, a really strong, firm handshake, and a few words that puts your name out there and the purpose for the contact and the fact that you'd like to follow up later when there's a little bit more time to discuss whatever the opportunity is that you're seeking with the person makes all the difference in the world. Because I know from my perspective, what you're saying is, I appreciate your time, I appreciate how busy it is, I just wanted to say hello, but if you don't mind, I'd love to call you when it's not as busy for you. I think most people really appreciate that. A lot of times people think that when they meet someone, it's their only time. I'm not going to have any more time to talk to you, so I better tell you my whole life story and drop down on my knees and beg for whatever it is I want before it's too late. Wrong. Wrong. You'll have other time to talk to that individual. And if it's the type of individual that doesn't want you to follow up with them, I don't know that you wanted to be connected with them in the first place. So just think about that. Now, I thought, Suni, we would go to this one because, well, first of all, let me go back one slide. Conference Commandos, and this applies for all conferences, and there's a whole section in this book that talks about, being a conference commando, and Suni and I have a lot of fun with this. Okay, here we go. There's all types of conference people. The first is the wallflower. Never leaves the wall, but expects to make a connection with everybody for some reason, and they'll leave the conference and wonder what happened. And then, of course, there's the opposite. There's the ankle hugger.
How you doing? It's good to meet you. How you doing? Your name? Yeah. My name? Yeah.
The celebrity hound, of course.
Mr. Logan.
Always got the eye on the celebrity, nobody else though. The smarmy eye darter. You guys know them. When you're talking to them, they're not looking at you. They're like, who else is in here? You ain't nobody. And then this one kills me. The card dispenser and a master. I got a card. I got a card. I got a card. I got a card. Can I have your card? You got a card. I got a card. Okay. Now remember, I'm not gonna follow up. I'm not gonna follow up. But I got your card though. I got your card. So we have fun with that, and we mean it very affectionately, but at the same time, I think you get where we're coming from, because whether it's this conference or any other, what we're trying to do is illustrate for you that these conferences are definitely about the material and what the presenters bring, but just as important, and a lot of people forget this, it's about the connections you're going to make, in many cases for a lifetime, with each other and with some very key mentors or mentees in your life. And you don't want to miss those opportunities by not being as sharp and as focused as you really should be. I mean, you should be intentional about making connections. They shouldn't be accidental. I don't know. Do we have a couple minutes for questions?
Yeah, we do. We have about 5 minutes worth of questions. So,
Okay.
what questions do you have for us? We have some. Yeah, there we go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miriam Muhammad from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, and my question is for SUNY. For the past 2 days, you've interacted with me. What kind of person do you think I am? Am I like a wallflower? I take constructive criticism well, so that is totally fine. So if you feel anybody in this room, if you feel a need to, correct me or, have some constructive criticism for me, please let me know.
Authentic. So one of the most important things that, I wish I could tell you that everybody's authentic when you first meet them, but you can tell the person it's kind of scripted and versus, and that's not a problem. This is a learning environment, and we get that for some of you guys, it's your first time doing this. So don't feel offended if we coach you or give you some feedback. I've given several of you guys feedback in various ways around your resume, around your approach. So don't be offended by that. Part of being an executive, part of being successful is accepting that feedback. But one of the things I'll note about you is that you're very authentic. When you come, you take the time, you stop, you pause. To Key's point, we do notice when you're talking to us, but you're doing this. You're looking around. The moment you leave me, you go to Keith, and then you go to Mr. Logan. And it's so authenticity. So I would say that that's one of the things that I noticed. So.